Good evening. Hey folks, I'm all set up as a Twitch affiliate now, so that's pretty cool. Welcome. I'm actually just gonna text my brother that I'm a Twitch affiliate. I think that's neat. Alright. So, what am I doing tonight? I am doing some campaign prep for the Wildlands. So I've got these seals. These sort of bonus abilities available at 4th level that give the players an extra personal boost, something personalized to them for their character or the player. And I've also got some things I'm going to write up, some more campaign events that I can have prepped to throw down for the players if they're not, generating their own story. But as will inevitably happen, there will be a quiet moment or some triggering factor, and I will have a good reason to make something cool happen. And I've made some edits to these, most notably these abilities. I changed Bella's completely. I had her ability was called Seal of Song and Story, which I think is a really cool name. But I don't think that, for one thing, it was the potential for it being incredibly overpowered was really high. So that's problem number one. Problem number two was that I'm not sure it actually reinforced. It was something about recharging spell slots and abilities, if you name them. And I'm just not sure that Bella's player, Kirsten, would really enjoy that. Anyway, so the combination of those two things, and I was at the point where I was trying to figure out things to kind of downsides to the ability. Better to just scrap it and come up with something else. So now, I know that she was having fun firing off her bow. And making attacks. She's done a lot of making physical attacks. And some casting of spells. So, I think I'm going with Seal of the Beguiling Blow. Which is spend 1 hit die, as always, trying to utilize the hit dice mechanic of 5e, 5th edition, for as a resource, make it more interesting. Spend 1 hit die when you hit an enemy with an attack to immediately cast an enchantment spell. And most of her spells are enchantment spells anyway, so I don't think it's going to be too big of a restriction. And I also want to not have too much crossover with, other things in the game, Gish type abilities that, like the arcane archer, or the eldritch knight subclass of the fighter. So I wanted to make it its own thing and make it personalized to Bella. I think this pretty well accomplishes that. Alright. It's also very powerful. And I've got an attack. I'm kind of leaving that open. I haven't completely decided whether it only applies to physical attacks, or if she could make a spell attack and then cast an enchantment spell. Which would be really strong, because she could cast the same spell twice, for example. It definitely allows her to go Nova, which I think is fine. Now, I've also changed Arkne's 4th level seal, Seal of the Frilled. I had it where she could spend a hit die as a reaction to let someone reroll a saving throw, and I've added attack, and that works on her as well. Because I think even if Arkne is a dedicated healer, I think the player of Arkne, M, is, kind of feeling like all I do is heal, and it's kind of one note. Not a lot of cool buffs she does, and cool stuff to do. I think she kind of wishes she played something completely different. So I would like to let her do that. I would like to give her something that is both lets her help other players and is kind of cool and dynamic. And I want to make it more cool than Seal of the Frilled, actually. I want to link it into... Oh! Rybane! How you doing, my friend? Doing great, getting set up for the Wildlands tomorrow. That's right. I've been doing lots of prep for it, and I'm doing still more. These are abilities that I have invented for each of the players, available when they hit 4th level. That serve a couple of different purposes, and they are personalized to the players. And I'm not going to force them on them either, because you need to spend a little downtime in order to activate these abilities. But they serve a couple of different purposes. One, just to make the players a little more invested in their characters, that they have this personal this unique power that only they have. And, you know, various ways of getting them invested, because it's, it has a story, like, it only becomes available through a kind of story event. So, for example, I don't know if you watched last session, but Bref's Seal of the Dolphin tattoo became available to him through his dream and his being called out for his dolphin tattoo last time. And the second kind of goal here is to make hit dice more interesting. I think that's a very cool resource that 5e brought in, but I don't know. I feel like it doesn't get used enough, or it could be. It's there to be used. It's already on the character sheet, so I am hooking it into that. And I definitely approve of giving more uses to hit dice. Yeah, exactly. Some of these abilities are very powerful too. And the third one is giving them some downtime activities. I'm going to be bringing in the downtime stuff available in Xanathar's Guide to Everything. But I also want to add to that with this, with these downtime activated abilities, because it's always basically to give them something that you know, you kind of need to keep in practice for, like in real life, you know, like a boxer or whatever. Like, you know, you train for a fight, and you get, you know, you're in training, you're in practice. You're not just always the greatest boxer in the world. You gotta stay in practice. So that's kind of what this, the feeling that these seals of power, as I'm calling them, are meant to give. And I'm making them available at 4th level, and we'll see if I decide to do more sooner rather than later. Makes sense, I'm glad. Oh, and there's also the group ones. So Seal of the Saviors of Taurine. They spend a lot of time in the town of Taurine and kind of caused it problems, but also saved it. So if they go back there, they can get one as a group, and they'll all have access to this. And this one isn't about keeping in practice, it's just about purely accomplishing deeds as a group. And I might want to make this one more powerful. Because, yeah, advantage any social interaction with free folk of the Wildlands. It's powerful, but it's not cool. But I don't need to figure this one out until they go back to Taurine. So, we'll see. But that's kind of a longer-term story-based one. Alright, so let's see. I've toned down some of the more powerful ones here. And I think made some of the less cool ones more cool. I think the Bard will be happy with being able to attack and cast a spell that's very powerful. Less strong than the insanity I was working with earlier. Spend one hit die when you hit an enemy with an attack to immediately cast an enchantment spell. Yeah, I think she'll be pretty happy with that. And getting to feel good about casting enchantment spells, reinforcing that a whole thing that she already likes doing. Sounds cool. This is reminding me of the solo mode versus squad mode mechanic from the Deathwatch RPG. I only played Deathwatch that one time with you, my friend. I don't really recall solo mode versus squad mode. Did you get a special ability when you were in squad mode? Is that what happened? That's what I seem to recall. Okay. Some of these hook into things that I'm not sure the players realized that I was paying attention to in their backstories. So, like, I'm not sure that... I know for a fact, because I overheard him saying so, that Bref's player did not remember that he had given himself a tattoo on his arm. And I know for a fact that... Well, I know that for a fact, and I'm not sure if Mavra's player... Danielle will realize that that I was paying attention to her backstory and noticed that her mother was a mercenary. That's essentially it, says Rybane. One of the themes of that game, the Deathwatch RPG, was that a group of individuals becoming greater as they learn to work as a team. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I'm kind of thinking with the group seal. I haven't completely solidified how I want it to work, because it's right now it's purely like a story thing, which is fine. But it feels maybe it just needs to be more powerful than this. No, not more powerful, because this is powerful. But it's not going to be cool, because we'll either be arguing about what free folk are. Or it's going to be forgotten, or it's just bad, or it's going to be always applied. So this isn't good. But I don't need to figure out all the details of this one yet. This is literally like the first thing that came to mind. So it's no wonder that it sucks. I'll come back to that. I'm pretty happy with these powers. I hope that Cordy's player thinks this is as neat and thematic as I do. But yeah, definitely Rybane with the group one. I want to tie that into the group of individuals becoming greater as they learn to work as a team. I'm just not... You know, you've given me an idea, Rybane. Maybe I will work this out. There was a mechanic for party feats in Player's Handbook 2 of 3.5. Let me grab that book. Dungeon Master's Guide. Player Handbook. Of course, it's the farthest away possible one. Ugh. Now, this wasn't the only place where these kinds of feats appeared. But I think it's where they were introduced. Let's see. General feats, ceremony feats, combat form feats, divine feats, heritage feats, metamagic feats. Was it called tactical feats? Was that what it was called? That might be it. Metamagic feats. Tactical feats. Playing characters, one or more tactical feats. Oh no, that's like a multi-round set of feats. So it's like if you start by charging, and then the next round you get a bonus and you fight defensively, and then the next round you get a bonus and you full round action, and something crazy happens. That's not what it was. Maybe it wasn't in Player's Handbook too. What book was party feats in? The adventuring group. Or teamwork benefit. Maybe that's what they're called. Party feats is definitely a cool way to do it, sort of like the crew upgrades and Blades in the Dark. I love the Blades in the Dark crew upgrades. That's one of the coolest things. Another way to make the social interaction advantage more interesting is to make it a one-time favor. Something akin to Arya's Iron Coin with the words Valar Morghulis. A one-time favor? Yeah. Like how she got to kill one person. That's a pretty good way of doing it too. But I feel like maybe that makes more sense. I feel like that makes more sense, like on a personal level. Like our party gains a boon, which is what I'm going to award Bella when she returns the library book, the magical book that she never used. I think she forgot that it had a magical benefit. To the library of Ibu Gruger. Or maybe she never studied it. Could have sworn she did, though. But she's going to get a boon from the head librarian for returning that book. Okay, teamwork benefits. This is concrete teamwork benefits. Right. Okay, so there's a task leader. And then I don't know if I like that. One player is the task leader, and they have to have the prerequisites. Every character on the team must meet these prerequisites. Okay, there's team leader, and then there's team member prerequisites. This is more complicated than I really want it to be. Benefit. Okay, what is the benefit it was deemed to do? Task leader prerequisites. Yeah, you have to have ranks and skills. Benefit. Each member of the team gets a +2 circumstance bonus on listen and spot checks. This is from 3.5, so this listen and spot. If any other team member is within 30 feet. Oh yeah, they're all like, if you're within 30 feet type of things. Camp routine. Oh, these are great. Camp routine. The regular routine your group is established allows you to set up, watch, and break down camp quickly and efficiently. Your team can set up... The benefit is your team can set up and break camp with an eye toward defensibility and efficiency. The team member on watch gains a +2 bonus on spot and listen checks, and each sleeping team member gains a +4 bonus on listen checks to hear any sounds within 30 feet. That's cool. And there's various tips. These are like actual, like, just general strategy tips that you learn from playing D&D a lot. Like, put the spellcasters on first watch or last watch so they can get uninterrupted rest. Get their spells back faster. Missile volley, ready in action to fire a missile weapon. These are super specific. Okay, yeah, maybe something like one of these. What if you use the Fighter Battlemaster's superiority dice as a template? Give the party a pool of dice, and members can spend those dice to do things under certain conditions, i.e. twin a healing spell or add to an eye's AC by shouting a warning. So, actually, Rybane, one of the really cool things that I came up with for encouraging role-playing and just doing cool stuff was building up a pool of dice. But the thing is, dice pools are really fun and awesome and a great way of rewarding the party when you have physical dice. Because when you go online, when you play online, it just feels very mechanical. You know, if you're building up like an actual pile of dice at the table, amazing. And the way I would do it is very liberally. I have a dice tower. As you may know, I have that dice tower where you like hit the lever and it drops the dice. So I would just pile up a d20 on there whenever somebody did something cool that like made the game more fun for everyone, like a cool role-playing moment, or making, you know, a suboptimal choice that advanced the story, or just advancing the story sometimes. Whenever something awesome would happen that somebody did, that was like bonus, and then I would pile a d20 on there, and then if somebody wanted to use it, anyone can use it at any time, and then roll all the dice, and it's like works like super advantage. Just pick the best d20 roll from all the rolls, and that worked great. That was something that I put to great use on a lot of the in-person games. But you can't. I haven't figured out a way of doing the same thing in an online game, because it just wouldn't be cool. You know, it's like, yeah, I could set up like a deck of cards or something, and then like pile that up on the screen, and then people could click on the cards, and I might do something like that. It's just not going to feel as rewarding. So I might be able to do it with cards, but not dice in Roll20. I wish that Roll20 had something like I could put dice on the table and roll them. But that would probably be, that would probably require a lot of... It would probably be really hard on the computer. I would probably make it crash more and stuff, so... really cool. I hear you on feeling too mechanical in an online setting. Yeah, it worked a treat in live games, and I think I kind of came up with that after you and I stopped playing in person. Anyway. I wonder if there's something cooler than advantage that I can take from 3.5 mechanics. Because advantage is just... I thought it was neat when... I still think it's a neat simplification of things in D&D, and I'm happy about that. I think it makes being good at the game more accessible to everybody. But when everything is special, nothing is special. And that's how kind of, at least I feel that phrase doesn't always apply, but it applies to advantage. When you're getting advantage from a bunch of different places, it's it's really powerful mechanically, but it's not that good. Or if you're getting it from multiple places, it's not very good mechanically. So it doesn't feel special. I'm just looking through the teamwork benefits on here. See if there's something that might... Mountaineers, group trance, massed charge, team shield maneuver. These are all excellent combat things. There is the camp routine and awareness stuff. But for this particular group seal, the Seal of the Saviors of Taurine, it's definitely... I don't know if it should be a combat one, because I'm not triggering it off of the giant fight with the devils. I'm going to trigger it off of them going back, and basically it's going to be a role-playing challenge. And none of these are role-playing, but... yeah, most of these have to do with people being in range or being next to each other. I wonder if there is a way to do it with a pool of dice, like you suggest, Rybane. But instead of it being... I'll probably just make a change to this. One change for now. If a member of your party is speaks up, you get advantage on any roll in a social interaction if a member of your party, and I'm saying a member of your party, I'll replace that with the team name they come up with. The players had been talking about calling themselves the No Regrets, which would be fun. Based off of the dying words of Samson after he met with an unfortunate end due to a wish that went to his head. I mean, it's a suggestion. It might be a little too number fiddly, but you could give a character expertise for a skill check, which is double proficiency under appropriate circumstances. I could. I mean, at least it would be different from advantage. But I don't know if... I don't want to take away... I don't want to say expertise, because I don't want to take away from that being the rogue's special thing. Pardon me. Alright, I'll leave it at that for now. I'm not super happy with this yet. But I don't have to figure it out until they go back. That is something I should write down. So, Let's add to the campaign events. So at the beginning of the campaign, and this didn't happen on stream, the party pissed off a dragon. The campaign began with me saying that they had but a few seconds to grab any item from a dragon's hoard, as the dragon lay slain by a much more powerful NPC at their feet, betrayed by another NPC who ran off with her body. And they all grabbed something from the dragon's hoard and then had to run, because the dragon's mate, Gretarar's mate, Chowderth, was returning to the lair. And now Chowderth, now that the party is a little higher level, now Chowderth is making her move. Chowderth the Clever. And that's my very short note. Mate of the slain dragon will chase the party throughout the campaign, giving them a reason to run for their lives. Right now they feel safe. They feel, well, maybe not entirely safe, but they don't think that Chowderth is coming after them. And it's time to change that. What color is this vengeful dragon? Red. Ruby red. By the way, all of this is actually written up in the journal of one of the party members in the Super Commoner Discord, which I've been trying to figure out if I can link to the specific channel, text channel on the Discord. But in any case, there's a journal that leads all the way up, bringing us all the way to the present of the campaign. A really awesome thing that Paul did, the player of Equitas. And it's written from Equitas's point of view. Since I was talking about this, I should pull up the dragon's lair. Why can I not find it? Evil Temple? No. Volcano Cave. There we go. So this was the very first scenario of the campaign. And I guess I did bring Chowderth on as looking identical to Gretarar. I have two Red Dragon models, tokens. So I kind of wanted to use both of them. But I'm happy with that. It's gonna be a nice oh shit moment. Where is that other dragon? Could have sworn. Whatever. The red dragon is a grasping, greedy dragon. And very proud. Red's always a classic. Oh yeah, if you do check it out, let me know, Rybane. I'm sure Paul would be. Very happy to hear that somebody appreciated it. All his hard work. I probably should not be wasting so much time looking for my other dragon token, but my other red dragon token. But it's kind of driving me nuts that I can't find it. Green dragon, blue dragon. I had another red dragon, I swear. Well, it is a nice one. I really got no right to complain. Alright. So one thing that I'm going to be introducing is dragon magic. Far stranger and more powerful and unpredictable than the nice magic one finds in one's tome, in the player's handbook. Dragon magic is subtler, older, and crazier. Seems like I was setting up a map here that never materialized. It's annoying. Alright, back. I should get back to what I'm doing here. So, the threat of Chowderth. Okay. So, I'm going to jot down my ideas first. So, so the party feels safe. Chowderth has not been antagonizing them because she has been lying low while setting up protection for her clutch of eggs, never found by the party. Now feels ready to... I should figure out how old Chowderth is based on her size. I'm probably not going to have anything but the stats in the compendium. Got every book but the monster manual to hand. Should I take it in the other room for some light bedtime reading? Well, I wouldn't put it past me. No, guess it doesn't matter. Okay, now feels ready to strike out, to make a move for her revenge. A move to avenge her slain mate, Gretirar. Lionation, thank you for the Twitch Prime sub. You are awesome, and my first official subscriber. What sort of protection is she setting up for her clutch? Magical wards? Kobold minions? She has some goblin slaves that the party have found. So it's definitely going to be something like that. But honestly, if they tangle with Chowderth, they're just gonna be dead for a while. I subscribe to the idea that dragons, once they get past the youthful stage should be, you know, on another level. And I'm doing that with Dragon Magic. So, Adult Red Dragon, does it say the size? Huge. And huge is 3 spaces across. So she's actually... Well, that includes the wings. So it's a little debatable exactly how many squares across she is. But that doesn't look good to me. That does. So, challenge 17. I'm probably not going to need to add any... No, I'm probably not going to have to add anything to make her unbelievably deadly for the party while they are 4th level. It does look like dragons in this edition are similar in that the breath weapon is probably the most dangerous thing, and they can be pretty dangerous in hand-to-hand combat. Okay. So, in one thing they can do is... transform themselves. Oh, Karasthina probably heard me talking, or saw in chat that Lion Nation subscribed with Twitch Prime, and thank you, Karasthina. It's awesome. Going to keep the stream rolling here. Running away from dragons is rarely the worst option. Yes. Yes. And I am of the opinion that you should... Well, this is a bit of a pulling back the curtain. But in general, not always, but in general, a GM should make it fairly easy to run away. You may have noticed in this in Matt Mercer's recent game, in the Critical Role. I think it was their last game on Thursday. I think they were fleeing from some dreadful demon. It was a horrifically awful fight for the heroes, and they ran, and it wasn't exactly easy to run away, but you'll notice once they got through the door, the Game Master didn't trigger any further issues. It was like, if we could get through the door, then we're going to be, you know, we can get away, leaving one of the party members behind. But that's the thing, is it's, mechanically speaking, it's really hard to run away in Dungeons & Dragons because of the way speed works, where, I mean, certainly in the case of a dragon, can outrun the party easily. Breaking away from combat, you get attacks of opportunity. And, you know, the terrain can just block egress from places. So it's often very, very difficult to run away in Dungeons & Dragons. I mean, it's possible that, you know, even if you're fighting someone the same speed as you, you run away, they run up and attack you. And, you know, they can now run up and make all their attacks, which you couldn't do in previous editions. So it's, in some ways, it's harder than ever. Not in every way, but in some ways. Okay. So, therefore, I think that sometimes it is good for the story, and it's more fun if there are different encounters, and sometimes it's more fun to run away. Oh, wow. Lionation gifted a sub to Rybane. Holy crap. Thank you, Lionation. Gotta support our favorite dungeon master. Aw, thank you, Lionation. I can't wait to have you on as a player again. And yeah, Rybane will be in having taken a drug, will be in the exciting conclusion to Rare Imports score next Saturday, if all goes according to plan. So, whew, that is a doozy. We have left that game on perhaps the ultimate cliffhanger so far. High probability that your character dies. Yeah, I would say of all three characters, Ogre is probably in the most trouble. And it ties into this talk I've been going on about running away. Because one of the things Ogre has done with that drug is he can't run away. The other two people can, theoretically. So, yeah. Yikes. The Saturday night game. Oh, man. Okay. Dragon magic. Transform themselves into humanoids, etc. The other two people should run away because I can't tell the difference between friend and foe. I think the party, the crew is trying to survive. Maybe you guys can get away with some items and treasure and come back for. We'll see. We'll see. It's going to be hard for any of you to survive, but possible. Where was I? Alright. Illusion spells of a caliber. Now see, here's the thing about dragons, folks. Dragons are real. But have you ever seen one? No? What about in art? What about in story? What about here be dragons on maps? Perhaps dragons are all around us, but masters of illusion. Illusion spells of a caliber beyond the mortal ken. Beyond mortal ability. Okay, so that's what Chowders is going to display here. Karasthina, I hope you're not listening to this. Because this is spoilerific. You folks are awesome. Oh, this is reminding me. Lionation do I have your permission to use the bit of lore you created that your character spouted off a bunch of... I mean, it was in the game, so it's part of the game now, but I just want to make sure that it's cool. I want to use the bit of lore that you spouted off with all of the names, the obscure scholarly references. Nothar, and Bodaster Budarax. Because the players have arrived at Arkne, where there's a famous library. And who knows, but I may need to incorporate some Nothar and Budarax. Excellent. Good. Glad you approve. This is interesting. Young red dragon. Now, that's probably going to be... yeah, large. Probably could wipe the party. But that's not what Chowderth is. She is an adult. A mature red dragon. Very old. She and other dragons survived the fall of the Empire of Ebb 2,000 years ago. And the mysterious disappearance of so many of its citizens, and so much of its power and knowledge. Okay. So one thing to remember about Chowderth. Okay. She wants to find the killer of the murderer of her mate. Note, she does not know who it is. Who it was. Because she wasn't in the chamber. The party ran before she arrived. So it's also possible she could have taken her all this time working her magics to track down the party. Perhaps her dragon magic, she has some spell she can cast that can locate people as vague as, you know. I don't think the party left too much behind. Or actually, she probably would have been pinging for Lou, a villain, and for the hero that Lou betrayed in the battle, which was the very important character Vale Proudheart, the paladin. So if she was trying to scry on Vale, has been trying to scry her special dragon magic, but Vale's body. Given the Red Dragon's tendency towards pride and a desire not to destroy but to dominate, some powerful enchantments geared toward bending creatures to her will could be interesting. Ah, yes. Exactly right, Bane. And not just magic. But remember, she is Chowderth the Clever. And she is old. Old and clever. A dangerous combination. Absolutely the right idea. But wait until just a second, right, Bane. I'll detail what her plan is. But your comment is reminding me. Protection should involve some magically controlled beings more powerful or more subtle than the goblin slaves. Alright. Vale's body is trapped within one of Stray's gems. Has taken this long to track down the party, who were mostly bystanders. She wants to get more information about the... do you have more information? She wants more information because she wants to find the murder of her mate. And the best way to do that, in her mind, is to threaten people and see what they reveal. Therefore, she will... I'm going to make this in all caps so I can find it when I'm skimming my notes later. Use dragon magic to appear before the party and speak with them. A long distance illusion that allows communication. So I'm imagining this, I'm planning this cinematic moment where a huge red dragon appears in the middle of the tavern the party's staying at and demands to speak with the murderers of my mate. And I'll figure out the voice mod to enhance that. The murderers of Gretarar. Not bad. Okay. So I'm just giving her some lines now, because I'm going to trigger this this event when the time is right. I don't know if you folks can read this. Is it too small to read? I am coming, she will say. I'm coming for you. There is nowhere you can hide. There are no holes you can scurry into. There is nothing you can do to avoid the doom. That I shall bring. Actually, I have to decide here. So I decided that demons and gods in my world use kind of Elizabethan these and thous language. I think that's going to make them feel older. And I have to decide if I want to do the same thing with dragons. Could be cool. I'm coming for you. There is nowhere you can hide. I am coming for thee. There is nowhere thou canst hide. There are no holes thou canst scurry into. There is nothing thou canst do. No, it doesn't really feel right for dragons. Somehow. Although, I'll think about how I want my dragons to sound. But even though she is a dragon, she's not a god, she's not a demon. She's old, but she's not, you know, beginning of time old. And I kind of want to save that feeling for demons and gods and the like. Okay. So this is a big spoiler. So if anybody is in the chat who doesn't want to hear a massive spoiler, mute me now. Okay. Her plan. You think you are safe. You think you little bipeds crawling upon the earth could ever be safe from me? Fools. What of that little village of your kind? The one that you stank of when you came to murder my mate. Taurine, wasn't it? That's the spoiler. Her plan. She will transform into a stunningly gorgeous, fiery-haired woman and pose as a farmer's daughter in the village of Taurine. The party has... The Taurine is kind of the town they first became attached to, and I plan to use that. I'm hoping that they come to like Arkne as well. But I think they'll always think of Toreen as home. I know I felt that way about a village I protected as a player in a not so long ago campaign that I was playing in, not so long ago that is. The Killage Prophetic. And I think that they'll never really let go of wanting to rush back and protect Toreen, and that suits me. That suits me just fine. It's not literal fire hair. And pose as a farmer's daughter in the village of Toreen. Then, get elected the new mayor. So, one of the storylines that I kind of helped the party get out of Toreen sooner rather than later. Partially because they were getting very interested in the election for the new mayor. So the powerful paladin Vale Proudheart was Toreen's mayor and kept the place safe. But she has disappeared, presumed possibly dead. Toreen needs a new mayor, and the guy who is running things there now, the alderman, who used to be the second in command, as it were, is a drunk. And the party does not like him. They were starting to get very involved in the vote that was going to happen for the new mayor. And, I mean, I'm fine with that. That's cool. But I didn't have a good idea for it. I wasn't prepared. I wanted to get them out of there, get the other parts of the story moving. We could certainly spend many sessions dealing with the situation in Toreen, and that will be fun. But it was starting to be too much Toreen for me, and I just didn't have a cool idea for it. Now I do. I'm really glad about how things worked out, because when they do eventually go back to Toreen, and I may not have her threaten. I should save this for later, because if I have her threaten Toreen now, they'll rush back as soon as they can, and I want to give them a minute. And this is a very open world game. I mean, I think this is the least railroad type of game possible, and I feel that having a dragon threaten the town that they're most attached to is railroading in the sense that they're not going to be able to refuse it. So I'm going to hold off on this until I've let them pursue their own interests elsewhere for a while. So this has got to be later. This has got to be later. I don't want to force them to rush back and forth, and I don't want to force them to cut all the storylines they've started themselves short. So I'm gonna save that. Minisman, or Minisman, probably Minisman, subscribed with Twitch Prime. Thank you so much for the Twitch Prime subscription. You are awesome. Thank you for supporting the stream. Okay. More creation is in order. More creation. Okay. More campaign prep. Her plan. She will transform into a stagecoach and impose her farmer's daughter in the village terrain, then get elected the new mayor. Oh, man. Then she will twist the screws. A good threat for the short term is claiming that she can watching them through her magic, even if she can't actually do that. For sure, dude. Thanks, Minis, man. Claiming she can watch them through her magic, even if she can't actually do that. That's good, Rybane. I can see you. I can watch you. Going about your miserable little lives anytime I like. Anytime. You are little, but little more. You're little more than playthings before my might. She lets out a stream of flame, flickering. Flickering brighter than normal fire. Brighter than wood fire. Yet you feel no heat. It's an illusion. It's an illusion. She could possibly attack them through the illusion. But it wouldn't be fire damage. That's a good threat for the short term, Rybane. Thank you for that suggestion so much, my friend. Okay, then she will twist the screws in Taurine. She will dominate the small town and slowly make them into her slaves. So, that's Chowderth's plan. She knows that that is, she can be subtler. She's a lot more. A dragon, any dragon, is a lot more than a flying beast with a breath weapon. At least they are in my world, and I feel they should be. I think often of the scene with Smaug in The Hobbit, where he speaks to the invisible thief in his lair, and his words, Smaug's in the book. I don't know about the movie. I didn't bother watching that one. His very words have power and can weave a spell over the Hobbit, or anyone, just by engaging them in conversation. And they feel compelled to keep talking. And I'm going to straight up use that. What is it called in The Hobbit? Happy to help. I'm loving the domination play. Seems like a great way to hurt the party. Oh, yes. See, Chowderth... Motivation. She... is insulted on behalf of all dragonkind that her mate was slain by a handful of mere mortal bipeds. And she intends to teach them all a lesson. Starting with that pathetic small town. Only a day's flight away. A bit of history. She and her mate only came to lair only came to the current lair within the last 150 years. After the fall of the Veye Empire. So this is the empire that's a little more recent empire and has a little more influence on the current culture of the Wildlands. After the events leading up to the fall of the Veye Empire displaced them from their last location. Where's our last location? I'm not sure. It's either going to be right next door and the fall of Avamorn, which is now a blasted magical nuclear fallout wasteland. It's either going to be there or it's going to be somewhere much farther away. I keep trying to seed more things that'll draw the party into more journeys across this map that I have going. I finally got them away from this region. But this is a hex crawler, and I have made up all these mechanics for handling overland travel, and they're pretty cool. Or at least they've been working really well, that is. And I want to... I mean, the point of this map is that the players are going to travel across it a lot. But, of course, they are free to pursue their own interests, and there have been a lot of interests in these towns. I think something a friend of mine said to me in a campaign that I ran... Oh my god, I don't want to think about how long ago that was. Like a decade ago. Is that I am a better GM for in town than in the wilderness. Which I've never been able to let go. I've never been able to get that out of my head since. And I think he's probably right, and it's probably still true. But I think still did come up with some pretty cool travel mechanics, overland travel mechanics for this game. And this game features a lot of wilderness stuff, but the party has been getting way super interested in everything going on in town. And I mean, I guess I can't say that's a bad thing. They're going to be interested in what they're interested in, and I'm a great believer in being the galactic force, to borrow a term from How to Be a Great GM, and just kind of saying, hey, it's your guy. It's a conversation between the players and the GM. I'm getting way off topic. Let me focus up here. Lead and follow the empire, just place them in the last location. Okay, lots of background for her. I'm not going to write too much more about this right now. It'd be pointless, and I would only end up throwing it out anyway when I come up with something better in the moment. I just need to have the general outline of all of these important facts. Okay, dominate the small town. Motivation. The Sultan may have all dragon kind. She intends to teach them all a lesson. Teach them all a lesson! Starting with that pathetic small town, only a day's flight away. It's a day's flight for her. 2 days travel for the party. Even on horseback. Okay. This is pretty cool. Alright, so she's gonna keep threatening them and try and elicit as much. She will try to keep the party talking. Use Hobbit inspiration. So this is inspired by the Hobbit. So if the party is like, if they try to leave the room or simply end the convo early. So I'm gonna use a little bit of that dragon talking magic inspiration. Dragon speech. Oh, and since I was trying... have I not put the credits on here? Texture from myfreetextures.com. Map from Hexographer, obviously. And the map of Arkne by Hero339 on DeviantArt. Just try to keep the party talking as long as possible and extract as much information as she can. So what are her goals in this conversation? Not sure what Tolkien called it, but that's actually a power you can take in Exalted. Another cool RPG. making it difficult / impossible for people to interrupt you while you're talking, whether through argument or action. Huh. That's interesting. That's interesting. That's interesting, Rybane. I don't want to do that. I don't want to say you can't interrupt her. Especially in an online game, I think this party has problems enough with being new players and generally being on the quiet side, and they hesitate to interrupt me already. That's a cool power. I think it's cooler for a player than for a GM. Because as a player, you never really know if, when you're interrupting the GM, if it's like you're making a mistake. And interrupting the GM too often, you will eventually interrupt them when they're just trying to describe something important. So I think that's a better power for a player than for a GM. Or an NPC in this case. That is cool, though. I think Tolkien called it like dragon speech or something, and it just kind of like mesmerizes you until he like kept Bilbo talking when he should have just slunk away invisibly. Let Smaug pinpoint his location through sound and smell for longer. Smashes the information she can. Okay. She wants to know. So this is for me to reference. This is possibly too many notes, but maybe that's okay. I'm getting excited about this. It's a good suggestion, though, Rybane. And that's a cool power. In Exalted. Exalted has a lot of cool powers like that. And I'll take from anywhere. She wants to know who killed Grettirar and how. Where are all the people involved? Part of the dragon speech will be, can't leave, okay, hard to leave. Hard to leave the conversation, and can tell if you're lying. Can detect lies, which is a spell. Very, very hard to mind read or control. Which I guess is modeled through their you probably wouldn't be able to mind read an illusion anyway. Guess a wisdom or charisma save since will isn't a thing anymore. Oh, you could use a fake... Yeah, will save. Will isn't a thing anymore. Where did you pick that up, Rybane? Because I thought you kind of came into D&D. Oh, you played a little bit of 3.5. But I'm surprised that you made that mistake, not me. Because I say that all the time. I say will. Make a will save instead of wisdom all the time. Oh, a lot of Neverwinter Nights. Okay. Makes sense. Fake wisdom save to talk about how impactful her words are. No mechanical effect for failing, just narrative hook to get players invested. I don't know if I would use a fake save in this circumstance, Rybane. Because... I might use a real save, though. I don't know that I would use a fake save in this circumstance, but I might use a real save. Okay, and the DC will be based on possibly her charisma. What are adult red dragons good at? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So charisma's +5. And then proficiency bonus of 6. So 8 plus 6 is 14, plus 5 is 17. You say 19, but you're starting from 10, which is not how it works anymore. Wait. Did I miscalculate it? I did. That's what I get for trying to math it, instead of just saying, it's impossible! You know what? That was a typo. I meant to say 19. Totally got my math right the first time. Glad I could be your spell checker. Oof. Oof. Okay. Where are all the people involved? Dragonfire. There was some book where it talked about how Dragonfire was hotter than any other kind of fire. I mean, that's probably used in a lot of fantasy books. And there was like a special salve, you know, cover your body in Vaseline, that could protect you, but only partially. It's probably a thing in this world. Who killed Gretarar and how? Where are all the people involved? What else does she want to know? What are their plans? Okay, now she has a relationship. Slight spoiler alert. She has a relationship with Zendrig, Champion of the Red, who was the 7-foot-tall guy. The 7-foot-tall guy in the red armor that killed Samson when he went back in time. And before that moment, he was a good-aligned, dragon-slaying paladin. And Chowderth's parents or something were killed by him. I haven't decided if Zendrig is, or was, he's still around, is Vale's son, husband, friend. They had some positive relationship before he was turned evil by the deck of many things. She knows about the fall of Avamorn. Maybe that was their old lair then. That's an interesting connection. That's a cool relationship, yeah. You probably haven't seen my previous videos where I talked about the villain mind map and how this is how I create a vast conspiracy for the players to interact with. And I have something similar, not really a spoiler, for the Blades in the Dark game. Okay. Oh yeah, what are their plans? So she is going to... She is not directly connected to Lou. It's Lou. Here's another little spoiler. KOS stands for Kills on Sight. A dumb little game. That nevertheless I think is appropriate to this villain because he's whimsical. And all of these villains have different titles. So the members of the Netherose, Chorabitha the Whisperer, Gevok the Hollow, Brassius the Defiler, Lou, KOS, seems like his name is Lou Koss. But he has a title too. And when the players find that out, they will probably roll their eyes, but they'll also feel the impact of, like, holy crap, you know, that was there the whole time. Even if it is a little bit dumb, it's going to match him because he's It's just going to match his personality. But I would like her to link back to Lou. Maybe she knows of Lou. And if the... Well, she knows of Zendrig. But if the party talks about Vale, if the party mentions Vale, Chowder knows about Zendrig, she may know about the connection between Vale and Zendrig. So, Vale's relationship with Zendrig is neither positive nor negative, but complicated. Is he her son? I kind of lean toward that. I kind of like that idea. Perhaps she was one of the reasons for Lou's betrayal. Maybe. The thing is that, spoiler alert again. Kind of the big background story that the players can choose to engage with is that the Netheros, kind of inspired a little bit by the Chandrian from the Kingkiller Chronicles by Patrick Rothfuss. They are this group that kind of appears after these big gaps of time, and they're very secretive. And, Bergman, thank you so much for the subscription. Tier 1 subscription. You are awesome. Welcome. A big welcome to you, my friend. Perhaps she was one of the reasons for Lou's betrayal. Yeah, so there's a big, massive, world-ending kind of storyline. Well, on that scale. Because they're not actually seeking to end the world. But the Netheros are kind of these... each one has a different elemental theme, and they have a pact that they want to forge a new empire in the Wildlands. And stop listening if you don't want the big spoiler of the campaign, because what the thing is, they are manipulating events over very, very long periods of time to forge this empire that will not, or that the gods will not be able to destroy. The gods will not end the empire of the Netheros. And the players don't know. So don't tell them. The players don't know if this is a big spoiler. The players don't know that those empires were destroyed in a kind of Tower of Babylon style, Babylonian Tower style events by the Cycle Pantheon, which are the main good god, like the traditional pantheon of this world. So Lou is related to Chowder through Zendrig because Zendrig, who's evil now, wanted Vale's body. So Lou is giving Zendrig Vale's body in order to get Zendrig to influence this powerful demon, Balvroxos. And Balvroxos, you see, this is all coming out of I kind of had these ideas before, but I'm kind of developing them as I'm talking about them on stream. This is all coming out of this mind map. I highly recommend doing one of these if you want to have a big, vast conspiracy in your campaign, because it's all inspired by all these connections. And Henlo Bergman, Henlo. Please, if any of my players are in the stream, mute it. Although by now it's too late, because this is massive spoiler territory. Massive spoilers. This is probably the biggest possible spoiler. So, where was I? So, Zendrig, champion of the Red, has a relationship with Balvroxos, who is a devil, not a demon, a devil, that wants to overthrow Asmodeus, who is the ruler of Hell. Oh, good night, Rybane. Thank you so much for hanging out and all your awesome suggestions, my friend. I hope you are able to tune in for the session tomorrow. It should be a good one. It should be a good one. There's going to be some awesome cinematic scenes. I don't know if we're going to get to this one with the dragon, but I have some that we are definitely going to be getting to. And hey, if it's true that I'm better in town, we're going to be introducing the party to Arkne. Alright, good night, Rybane. Thank you so much for coming by. Where was I? Okay. So, Zendrig can influence Balvroxos, who to make a move against Asmodeus, to push Asmodeus to make a move against the Cycle Pantheon, which the devil, the ruler of Hell, would very much like to overthrow. And that will keep the gods distracted while the Netheros make their move. So they are on an insane scale of power, and they are manipulating events over millennia in order to make this happen. All right. All right. So this is the event that I'm definitely going to be triggering next session. Tomorrow's... yeah, tomorrow. Or I guess it's not tomorrow anymore because it's 1 a.m. So, today's evening session. I'm going to trigger this event. He's going to talk to a fellow cult member. And then he's going to have the dream. And this is a method. This is a method by which Equitas is going to get access to his seal of power, his 4th level seal of power. This ability I've made up to help retheme his character more towards the shadow. For those of you who don't know. So it's going to be granted to him personally by the shadow itself. Do I have this written twice? Yup. I made myself a note for what to do, and then I wrote the long version. I thought I had more than that. Okay. So I'm trying to, I'm using the Seals of Power. Each one is personalized. And that gives me an opportunity to link it to a bit of the character's, each character's personal story. And so I'm making each character have some event, probably going to happen in town, that well, it's got to happen in town because it's got to happen soon because they just turned 4th level and that's when it becomes available. So I don't want to make anybody wait too long. But everybody's going to have a little bit of a story moment. And I'm trying to come up with one for each. I know I did one for Bref, with his dolphin tattoo and triggering all this stuff that related to his past. This is a bit of text I wrote to remind me to talk about Deep Lurk Lake and describe it. Oh, right. I've got to remember to talk about how the map is upside down. Talk about how map of Arkne is upside down. Dummy. That is a note to my future self. So I don't think they're going to pick that up just from the compass. I mean, it's not really upside down. It's just north is down toward the bottom. I guess that's upside down. So this event is definitely going to be happening in next session. I almost don't want to do the dragon thing in addition to this because then it'll have less impact. How many powerful beings are they going to be contacted by? Powerful beings who aren't necessarily completely present. The only thing I need to do here is figure out who this woman is. probably just pick an NPC I already have for Arkne. I don't want to be inventing one on the spot. So this is important. I don't have my Arkne notes up. That's fine. And I don't have a link to it there. Okay. And I don't have a link to it there. Terrain. There we go. All the way at the bottom. Alright, let's pick an NPC. It could be somebody at the library. Could be this innocent-seeming gnome. Doesn't seem right, though. Who is going to get possessed by the shadow and speak to our warlock? The governor's wife. Oh boy. The governor's daughter. No, these are too visible. It's gonna be way too complicated. If it's such an important character. Such an important person in town, that is. I mean, I could pick any of these people. Here we go. Who is Hadwissa Shelley? Maybe. She's kind of older, though. And I kind of want to do the whole attractive young woman thing. To tempt. To tempt him. Maybe it's Rosalind Thackeray. Or Malquis. No. Avelina Kendall. A lovable idiot. Could be. These are all just normal people, of course. Why not? Rosalind Thackeray. Did it reuse Eva Everly? Oh, same character. I must have set that up on purpose. Okay. So, Rosalind Thackeray is the woman. Keeping this note because it's just shorter than my long notes. So I can find stuff easily. Alright. I probably should be getting to bed pretty soon here. Unfortunately. But I want to be well rested for tomorrow's campaign. Tomorrow's session of the campaign. Okay. The woman, comma, Rosalind Thackeray. Did some good stuff tonight. Created a dragon illusion encounter. Worked out some more of the seals of power. And, yeah. My first stream as a Twitch affiliate, which is pretty cool. So to pledge thyself, thy friendship. To hear thee pledge thy friendship to me. Thy master, thy father, thy king. As thou hast grown stronger, I doth dearly wish. I left out a word there. I'll leave you on this note.
As thou hast grown stronger, I doth dearly wish for us to become closer, my son. I ask only for thy loyalty, and I shall grant thee a greater token of my power, a seal of fire and shadow. I shall also rid thee of thy foul curse. Its dwarven sigil magic is no match for that of the shadow. What other being, what god or lord would speak to you directly this way? Good night, dear viewers and listeners.
Thank you all so very, very, very much. If you came by the stream, checked it out, or if you, goodness, if you subscribed or gifted a subscription, you are amazing. If you followed the stream, you are awesome. If you watch this later, thank you so much. You are super cool. Thanks for chatting. Thanks for the suggestions. Thanks for hanging out. I bid you all a good night. I'm going to go get some sleep and dream of sugar plums and the game session that I cannot wait for. Good night, folks. Bye-bye.